Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be looking at this contraption behind me. This is a shulker swapper. It's very useful to have in your survival base and I would very much recommend it. A very fancy way to store all your items that you will accumulate during your survival experience. Today's video will consist of 3 parts. We will have part 1, which will be telling what this is, part 2, how it works, and part 3, how do you build this thing. Let's get into the tutorial. So what is this thing, and what can it do? Well, this shulker swapper is an item storage system, and it is able to store a total of 13,824 items. That is a lot of items. A perfect system for your survival base. Let's move on to part 2. Alright, so how does this thing work? Well, I'll show you. If we come around to the back here, we can see that we have quite a bit of redstone, but it's not too complicated. I'll walk you guys through it. So, right here we have a redstone comparator. It is taking an output from this item frame we have here. It is then shooting that output out into this redstone dust here, which is being observed by this observer, which sends a signal out to this redstone line and this repeater. This repeater then unlocks these hoppers for a split second and allows the items to flow into the droppers. After this pulse is finished, the redstone turns back on, activating the droppers and sending the items into the hoppers, which are locked so they may not let the items flow back into the next dropper. This is to keep all of the items that are in here separate. As you can see, there are shulker boxes in these hoppers and they are not able to move. If we come over here, we can see this other redstone line that is going into this repeater, which is coming over into these 2 lines here. This one is going into the dispenser, which will dispense all of the shulker boxes, and this one is going to the piston, which will break them. Down here we have the pickup system, which is going to pick up the shulker boxes and send them into these droppers here. They are then going to be activated by this comparator going into this redstone dust, which is being observed by this observer. This will ensure that the droppers are activated twice, allowing the items to shoot up all the way into this hopper back into the system. That's it for how this works. Let's get into part 3. How do we build this? Alright, so how do you build this thing? Well, let's find out. If we take a look into this chest, we can see all of the materials we are going to need. We are going to need 2 observers, 11 hoppers, 2 comparators, 4 redstone repeaters, 1 redstone torch, 1 sticky piston, 8 droppers, 1 dispenser, 24 dust, 2 slabs of your choice, 1 item frame, 1 arrow, and any block of your choice. 64 is not a set value. And then you're going to need your 8 colors of choice with their respective shulker boxes. These do not have to be concrete, they could be wool or terracotta. And now we can just take all of these and we can move over here to the next section of the video. So here we are going to build basically everything that's over here. I'm going to show you how to build everything. So what we're going to start with is behind our random assortment of colors that I've already put in place. This can be any colors of your choice in any order. We are going to take a comparator output from the middle block here, which is where the item frame and the arrow will be resting on. So we can just drop those now. And after this, we are going to take that into a redstone dust, which is now going to go into an observer. And now we can take that into a block, which can go into some dust, and we can have that go into a repeater, set to 3 ticks, and we'll place some blocks here with some redstone dust. Now we are going to take it down here, and we're going to place a repeater on 2 ticks with a redstone torch coming out of it. We are then going to place 2 blocks here and our sticky piston with the 2 redstone dust coming out that way. And then we can now take a redstone repeater set to 2 ticks with a redstone dust and with a block right here to separate these 2 redstone dust and another repeater just on 1 tick right there. We can then take our dispenser and place it, yes, right there with a block on top of it. And now we can start placing in our hoppers and our droppers. So let's place a hopper here and place 3 hoppers like so and leave a space in between each one. We are going to then take a hopper here and then place 4 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And with their respective droppers in place like so, just facing into the hoppers that are in front of them. And then we can place the redstone that is on top of all this. Okay, and then next we will create the system that picks up the shulker box and will send it back into this area here. So what we will need to do is place a hopper right there, and we will need to place 2 droppers that are facing upward into that hopper right there, and a comparator coming out of that dropper right there, going into some redstone that is in place to activate that observer right there. And this will make sure that this observer will activate twice, and that will activate these droppers twice, sending the item up both droppers. And then now we can place a hopper like so, and 2 more facing into it. And that is, we are nearly done. Now we just need to cover all this up and place 2 slabs, one right here on the bottom and right here on the piston. And now we can cover up these areas here, just so we can't see it from the part we are going to be able to see right there. And we can then place some slabs here. This is to prevent the shulker box from flying out. It is just good to have that protection so it does not despawn. And yeah, that is pretty much the entire circuit and everything. That's the entire contraption done. Pretty simple, not too hard. And now I will show you how to load all of the shulker boxes into the system. So we can come over here and take the colors that I have chosen, and we can just put them in their orders and just, yeah, feed them through the system. So our first is orange, so let's do that, and we'll just click it. We'll press it to turn it onto the pink. Okay, now we put the pink in, and now the green, and now the black, and now we can put the blue along with the white and the gray, and finally the red. Now, if you did not notice, I am actually making sure that I hear the 2 clicks that are coming off of these observers here before I press the arrow again. And this is to prevent 2 shulker boxes being in the same observer, because they have a 50-50% chance of making it up to the top here. And if the wrong one makes it up to the top, then it will just throw off the entire system, and you will have colors not being where they should be. So it's just best to wait until you hear those 2 clicks to press it again. So if we press this again, we now have orange. Hear the clicks, press it. Now we have the pink, and now we hear the clicks, and so on. And yeah, that is the entire system done. It's working, it's fully functional, and even if you don't like how it looks with the slabs here, what we can also do is get some trap doors, whether it being oak. In this case, I'm going to use spruce, but you can, in fact, place trap doors like this, and it looks pretty good. It hides the piston that's here, and it totally works. So yeah. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this redstone contraption, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.